Welcome to a very special edition of Hot Takes for Snowflakes here on Unwoken, Guns, Opposition, and Profanity. In light of this year's Olympic Games, it's not hot takes for snowflakes today, folks. Today, it's hot takes for woke athletes. Now, before we get started, today's episode is brought to you by Kevin's Barbershop, 3015 Verrott School Road here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Look, I'm a man that likes to look good at all times. These people are the best of the best. I'm there every Friday morning to see my boy Adam Wellborn. I love you, man. All you have to do, go to the App Store, download the app Booksy. From there, you'll find Kevin's Barbershop. You'll find the list of barbers, their available times, and their available dates during the week. Book your first appointment today. These people take care of me, and they'll take care of you too. The 2021 Olympic Games. You know, I was listening to Mike Greenberg on the radio the other day, and he said something very interesting. He said never in his lifetime did he think that he'd see Americans rooting against Americans. It's a fair point. But from my point of view, never did I think that I'd see the day that Americans would disrespect our flag and our national anthem. Not to mention multi-million-dollar athletes who are getting paid to play a sport. You see, it's real simple for me. If you believe that this country is so fundamentally bad and so very oppressive, then why would you choose to represent us in the Olympic Games? I would have had a hell of a lot more respect for you if you decided to say, you know what, I'm just not going to show up this year. A hell of a lot more respect. And you know what's funny? The majority of these athletes, including you, LeBron, even though you're not there, you wear Nike. And you have your own line with Nike. You know what I don't hear you talking about? The oppression from those sweatshops that make your clothing line and your shoes. I haven't heard a single one of you talk about that. No, because it adds on to the millions of dollars you're making. Yet we're so oppressive over here. You see the hypocrisy? You see, there used to be a time when the Olympics were the time whenever all Americans, regardless of your political beliefs or your political opinions, every American could come together and cheer on the athletes for Team USA. But it's not like that anymore. No, and we're not the ones getting political. It's these woke athletes. Look, it's your First Amendment right. It's your freedom to be able to express yourself and to protest. And I would defend that. Always, we all should defend everybody's right to free speech. But that doesn't mean we have to like it or support you. And honestly, I believe it should be a rule that if you're representing the United States of America in the Olympics, you must stand for the national anthem. That is no time to make a political statement. No time whatsoever. And it's upsetting to see all these woke athletes. Notice how far left they lean. Pick up an economics book. You know what? You want to support Bernie Sanders? Donate 90% of your paycheck because you're in the 1%. It's funny how conservatives are the ones who stand up for you to be able to keep all that money that you have. Because we know you worked your ass off to get to where you got. But I don't think you know nearly enough about politics to try to make a political statement. Because you're not oppressed. And if you want to talk about oppression in these neighborhoods that you're going into and you're donating to, Why don't you look at the source? Look at the leaders in that community. I guarantee you about 99.9% of them are Democrats. They're the ones oppressing. And those are the ones that don't believe in patriotism at all. So how about you learn your facts? You learn your politics. You learn the policies. And you get to know the people who run these communities before you start making political statements for the whole world to see by trying to make the U.S. look bad. Because you're not making us look bad. No. You're making yourself look bad to us. So whenever you get back home and all the stadiums are opened up and the viewerships are down, attendance is down, scratching your head saying, well, why could this be? Now let's go over some numbers in regards to the U.S. women's national soccer team, because a lot of this has to do with them. So the women get paid in the World Cup from a pool of $30 million. Now the Women's World Cup generates $131 million. The women get paid from a pool of $30 million. That's about 20%. Now the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. From that, they get paid from a pool of $400 million. Now that's about 7%. Take that as you may. Now let's tackle this, because the U.S. women's national soccer team sued U.S. Soccer over the pay gap. They seem to forget that in their collective bargaining agreement, they negotiated the terms on how they got paid. So the women negotiated that they get a base pay of $100,000. It's pretty good. The men negotiated that they don't get any base pay, but they want bigger bonuses. Of course, you're going to get paid more in bonuses if you're generating more money. It's basic economics. You know what? I'm starting to think a lot of these athletes, maybe everything's true. They have people take the test for them if they're good enough, because you don't seem to understand basic economics. That's all it is. So, woke athletes, what have we learned today? You are in no position to lecture the general public on oppression. You are in no position to lecture us on politics. What I will say is all you Olympians who are going to be standing on that podium representing USA with that beautiful American flag draped over you and that beautiful national anthem playing in the background while you're standing with your hand over your heart, we love you. We support you. And kick some ass.